Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aries, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, please remember these are general readings, so that not everything is going to resonate with everybody, and that's fine. And remember to use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you in your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look-see at your cards for the week. But before we get into that, your key to the week is the Strength card, right? So in a lot of ways, Strength, it kind of mirrors the Fool card in a sense, right? And the reason I say that, I know a lot of people are going to be like, hang on a sec, wait, what did he say? The reason I say that is because whenever the Strength card shows up, it basically says to you, you have the courage, all the strength that you need to get past whatever it is that you're facing. And what this usually reminds us of, on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is a woman taming a lion, like she's closing the lion's mouth, putting her hands right next to its mouth. That is a feat of strength, an act of courage, but it doesn't come from brute force, it comes from internal strength. And the internal strength that we have, or that we demonstrate to get through anything in our lives, is usually because we have a link to the divine. So this week, ask yourself, where is it that maybe your inner world needs more cultivation, and where it is that tapping into that inner courage and strength is what you actually need at this moment in time. Whatever situation you're facing this week, whatever it is that requires guts, grit, courage, determination, maybe even skill, or maybe even the gift of the gab. Maybe it requires you to do something a little bit daring or a little bit cheeky. You know, Mars is currently in your, your ruler is currently in the sign of Leo. So I find it really interesting that you've got this card in this position. This really does suggest to me that something this week is going to push you to go beyond what you know or what you think you're capable of, and you are more than capable. For your actions and options this week, you have the Hanged Man, right? So like I said, the Strength card is about that inner world, right? And the fact that you've got the Hanged Man here as your actions and options, what are you doing? This is you taking your time. This is you this week maybe taking a pause, taking a slowdown. Maybe this is that moment where you do drop to the knee in prayer. Maybe this is about you thinking about your future, what it is that you actually want, what it is that you want to create, where it is that you really feel yourself going from here on in. As far as I'm aware, the other thing, as far as I'm aware, the other thing that I want to say about the Hanged Man card, in terms of characteristics, this might make you more acquisible. I don't know if that's a word, but this might make you more accepting. It might make you calmer. It might make you say to yourself, okay, you know what? Maybe you're going to question yourself. Maybe you're going to delve into what your faith actually is, what your personal beliefs are. Maybe you could be looking at all of this stuff, and maybe then you can really get a picture of how that sees you presenting to the world. In a lot of ways as well, this could be a very self-sacrificing energy, especially because you've got the Hanged Man there. Your planet, your ruling planet Mars is in the sign of Leo. This could see you deferring to something or someone because of the knowledge that you feel that they have. Maybe the message here then this week is that you shouldn't discount what you know just because somebody else is an expert in their field. I'll give you an example about this. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, I can't give you that kind of advice, but one thing that I often say to people is, nobody knows your body better than you do. Like, you can go to a doctor and they can say to you, oh, well, you've got this, this and this, and this is the problem. They can't tell you that implicitly. Like, yes, they've studied and they've trained and all of that, but nobody knows your body better than you. So if you've had, let's say, a chronic health issue and the doctor's saying it's this thing, and you're like, no, it's not that, I'm telling you it's not, because I can feel that that's the case. This would be a week to really check in with your internal self. For your communications and conversations, you have the Page of Cups. So what are we seeing here? Straight away, we've got a time signature. Pay attention to what comes up this week, because you are likely to be visiting it again around the time of Pisces season 2022. So this is literally just before birthday season for you next year. The other thing is as well, you could be having conversations this week that go back to Pisces season of this year in some regard. The fact that you've got the Page of Cups underneath the Strength card, that's very powerful energy for creative energy. This could be a really great week to ask for help, ask for support. All the good deeds and favors that you've put out, this would be a really good week to cash those in if there is something that you need help with. The other thing that comes up here as well is your when it comes to your, for those of you that work for somebody else, the Page of Cups is basically saying to you, in a lot of ways, you are getting an internal understanding of where things should be going. And maybe, just maybe, you are too busy doing other things, other duties, other tasks that are taking you off of what you know you should be doing, or where you should be putting your time and effort. This might be the week where you have to check in with a boss and say, look, you know what? I understand why you've got me doing this, but it's not the best use of my time and skills. And besides, I've got all of these other, avenues that I would like to explore. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I mean, in a lot of ways, this could be a very creative week for you. It could also see you coming up with a new idea for your business, or maybe a new direction for your business that has you kind of saying, okay, you know what, this is a complete 180, but it feels right to me. Whatever you're doing this week might not make sense to others, but it will make sense to you. And then finally, for your for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, the children in your life, in whether this is nieces, nephews, children of your own, children that you hope to have, this is or maybe children that you've already had, should I say, this would be a week to check in with them. The young people in your life are going to be a big part of this week in some way, shape or form. So if you have time to spend with grandchildren, with your children, etc., this will be a really good week to do so. You might get a lot out of it. For your money and materials, you have the Queen of Wands. So in some way, shape or form, you show up, whether you're a man or a woman. What I like about this is it suggests that when it comes to your money, you are getting sensible. You are starting to really think long term. This is about you maybe setting boundaries, not only for others, but also around yourself and around your finances. Maybe this is you saying, okay, you know what, how do I maximize the money that I already have? How do I grow the money that I already have? And where is it that I am maybe giving too much when it comes to the finances? Where is it that maybe I am expected or required to do things that actually have nothing to do with me? A Leo person could feature for you this week as well. Very, very possible. The other thing that I will say to you is when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is literally about your heart, your back and your spine, like that entire sort of area. It's not to say there's any problems there, but this would be a good week to look after those. If you can, maybe go and see a chiropractor or an osteopath, etc. The other thing that comes up with this as well, when it comes to your home and environment, and I was going to say there's something to do with interior design here, I really feel like this is you working on your home, like this is you creating a much more harmonious vibe, a much better energy for yourself. This is you really paying attention, I think, in a lot of ways to almost like is to the not only the aesthetics of the place, but sometimes when they say, like, for me, my space has to be clear. I can't do clutter. It drives me mad. And so sometimes the aesthetic of your space is just as important as the space itself. This week you could really be about that. So you could be throwing things out left, right and center, or you could be working on beautifying the home in a way that actually feels really beneficial to you and to your mental state as well. For your love and relations, you've got the Tower card. Right underneath the Page of Cups. There could be a challenging conversation coming up with a family member this week. It does look like, and I have to say, this week in general, I think is going to be little bit terse, certainly at the beginning, maybe not necessarily towards the end, but just watch out for that. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships, this could be an interesting week of surprises, shocks. This could be where a partner or a loved one tries to surprise you with something and it goes horribly, horribly wrong. You know, like I'm having images of, you know, the engagement ring was in the champagne and I've swallowed it. Like all of those kind, do you know what I mean? This would just, with the Tower card here, if you have a surprise planned for a loved one or a partner, maybe hold off just because it's the Tower card and you're not going to get what you expect to get. So just be aware that that is around. For those of you that are single, slightly, well, I say slightly, very different energy because it's underneath the Page of Cups, which suggests that this could be a communication or a declaration of love, or maybe somebody demonstrates that they're interested in you, or you demonstrate that you're interested in someone, and it takes both of you completely by surprise. This could be, you know, maybe you realize, actually, I've been in love with my best friend for the longest time and now I'm going to tell them. Maybe you are, do you know what I mean? Like it could literally, like this could be the week for that kind of revelation. So just be aware that that energy is definitely floating around. And you, oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. This happens a lot. And yeah, so I would just be aware that that energy is around. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.